Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. His only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Awathian who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord willing, this be edifying. And this is going into they're trying to upset prophecy. The UN, EU, and NATO, Babylon the Great is trying to upset prophecy because this truth is in the ears of everybody, man. Okay, even Trump said it. The perennial prophets are doomed. This truth is in the ears, so they're trying to upset prophecy. So Lord, will this be edifying?
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Calmetti here, and I hope you all had a great weekend. But for today's broadcast, I wanted to share some headlines that have occurred in the last couple of days. And I'd like to take you to this first report written by the Times of Israel. They are reporting that apparently the UN is banning all nuclear weapons.
You see, they are banning all nuclear weapons. Why? Because they are trying to upset prophecy, man. Which they can't. Because this is from who? Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man.
But not without opposition from the U.S. The United Nations announced on Saturday that 50 countries has ratified a UN treaty to ban nuclear weapons, triggering its entry. As of Friday, the treaty had 49 signatories, and the UN official said that the 50th ratification from Honduras has been received. It is now to enter into force on January 22nd, 2021. According to the United Nations, they were formed to promote peace with the goal of destroying nuclear weapons.
See, they're trying to promote peace with the goal of destroying nuclear weapons. This of Yahweh Bahashim Shah. So they trying to upset prophecy because why? It's in their ears, man. All they keep hearing is Hebrew Israelites talking about World War III, and it's going to be fought with intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. So this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It reads, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 25. It reads, "Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none." It said destruction cometh. What that mean? World War III cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none, man. So they're trying to upset prophecy by getting rid of the missiles. But this is from Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah. You can't get rid of this. These are the weapons of the Lord armory. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. It reads, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord punneth the heart." Right? Proverbs 16 and 9 reads, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." Proverbs 20 and 24 reads, "Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?" You can't. Because the Lord is in control of this, man. They trying to upset prophecy, but they don't understand what they are doing, man. This is the work of the Lord, man.
This treaty is the UN at its best, working closely with civil society to bring democracy, to disarmament. But while the nuclear-armed powers have not signed up to the treaty, its proponents hold out hope that it will nonetheless prove to be more than symbolic and have a gradual deterrent effect. But the United States has...
World War III is not symbolic, man. Okay? It's going to be literal, man. It's going to be physical, man. Isaiah 34, it tell you that in the second Ezra, man. Revelation 19th chapter, man. On the head of Yahushua was many crowns, man. Okay? It tell you that in Daniel 2 and 44, man. The Lord is going to establish his son's kingdom on earth when he destroy all these other nations, kings, these mountains and hills, man.
Written to treaty signatories, saying that the Trump administration believes that they made a strategic error and urged them to rescind their ratification.
There's no strategic error, man. I just read it. Proverbs 20:24 say, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? You can't. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. There's no strategic error, man. These are the weapons of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, armory, man. The weapons of his indignation. There is no such thing as a strategic error, man. The Lord is perfect, man. And he balanced.
The U.S. letter said that the 5 original nuclear powers, the U.S., Russia, China, Britain, and France, and America's NATO allies, stand unified.
See that? That was all what? Job 9 and 24s, man. Idumeans, man. Okay, and then they left out North Korea, man. Okay, because Kim Jong-un got something too for you. But it's showing you, man, these are all Idumeans, man. And they are not on the same page. Okay? As the history goes on, man, you know how the British, the French, and the Spanish fought amongst each other, man. Those are all Idumeans. Job 9 and 24s. They have been fighting against each other since the beginning, man. Why? Because they can't get along, man. That's a separation. That's why I tell you in Daniel 2 and 43, they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, but they shall not cleave one to another. Why? Because the Lord gave them a separate spirit from the seed. The sons of the wicked have a different spirit from the seeds of men, man.
Unified in our opposition to the potential repercussions of the treaty. It says that the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, known as a TPNW, turns back the clock on verification and disarmament and is dangerous to the half-century-old Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, considered the cornerstone of global non-proliferation efforts. The TPNW is and will remain divisive in the international community and risk further entrenching divisions in existing non-proliferation and disarmament. For that offer, the only realistic prospect is for consensus-based progress. It would be unfortunate if the TPNW were allowed to derail our ability to work together to address pressing proliferation. Now, according to the United Nations, a non-proliferation treaty is about preventing the spread and eliminating nuclear weapons.
See, they trying to upset prophecy, man, but you can't. This is prophecy. World War III is prophecy, man. It will happen.
And this treaty implements that, so it would definitely be a good thing if they were to ban nuclear weapons. However, I highly doubt that these nuclear powers are going to give them up, but we shall wait to see what happens. However, I would like to move on and talk about Israel next. It is being reported. Apparently, the IDF on Sunday morning launched a large-scale exercise simulating war against the Hezbollah group, and also aimed at improving the military's offensive capability.
Real quick, Jeremiah 50 and 25. The Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. What's the weapons? Isaiah 54 and 16. Okay? He created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, who created an instrument for his works, and he created a waster to destroy. This is prophecy, man. Okay, you can't upset prophecy. Now they go into Israel. Listen to this.
A multi-day drill dubbed Deadly Arrow will predominantly focus on how various headquarters and command centers work together and communicate in wartime. It was also set to include physical maneuvers by ground forces, naval vessels, and aircraft. The IDF said in a statement that the goal of the exercise is improving the IDF's attackability and testing all levels of the military in an integrated way. The military also said that the exercise would simulate a multi-front scenario focused on the northern arena. The IDF believes that any future war against Hezbollah would not only be waged in southern Lebanon, but would also include attacks from Syria and potentially the Gaza Strip as well. So it certainly seems that Israel is definitely preparing for a future war. And
you see that? This is Jeremiah 15:45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, and his proposals that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Who is the least of the flock? Israel. The Lord says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. With who? With the Job 9:24s, these Babylonians. These Babylonian Job 9:24s. These Babylon the Greats, Idumeans, man. He's going to make Israel desolate with North America. Babylon the Great. That's why you know these missiles is going to destroy all of North America and Israel, man. It's prophecy. And they're trying to upset prophecy. That's the whole point of them creating this peace agreement and getting rid of the missiles. But it ain't going to happen, man. Because the scriptures say, these are the weapons of the Lord in the nation.
And we know from prophecy that it's inevitable.
And we know from prophecy that it's inevitable, man. It's from prophecy, man. We know World War III will happen, man. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. World War III cometh. It's coming.
Hopefully it will not be anytime soon. However, I would
Lord
like to
willing
move
to be
on and talk about
soon.
this report from Fox News. The United States is warning it will destroy potential Iranian long-range missile shipments delivered to the Maduro regime.
Now, how you gonna see this? This is the part that hard I have to see them, man. Right? Because if you know anything about history, Iranians are who? The Persians, man. And who took down the ancient Babylonians? The Medes and Persia, man. Which today going to be who? Russia and Persia and the other nations that's going to follow them, man. So they playing with fire, man. They playing with some real million degrees heat, man. But that's the pride of their heart have deceived them.
Stating that the transfer of long-range missiles from Iran to Venezuela is not acceptable to the United States and will not be tolerated or permitted. We will make every effort to stop shipments of long-range missiles, and if somehow they get to Venezuela,
Hey, that's why these nations separate, because who are you to tell them what they can't do? See, this old bully on the schoolyard, hey, the other nations is strong now, man. Let the weak say we are strong, man. Okay, these nations ain't weak no more. They just as powerful as Babylon the Great is, man. And they going to act on it. So, and the bully on the schoolyard that been bullying for years, they always wind up getting beat, man. By who? One of the weakest people at school, man. It always happened like that, man.
will be eliminated there. But the officials provided no information that such shipments were imminent. They only claimed that Iran and Venezuela are a likely pair for arms deals, stating that Iran has announced its intention to engage in arms sales, and Venezuela is an obvious target because those two pariah regimes already have a relationship. Venezuela is paying in gold to buy gasoline from Iran, and there is an Iranian presence in the country. Finally, it reports that the administration official stated that Iran has shipped missiles to the Houthis, so we know that they are ready, willing, and able to ship them to Venezuela and other possible buyers. Every delivery of Iranian arms destabilizes South America and the Caribbean, and is especially dangerous to Venezuela's neighbors in Brazil, and Colombia. In the meantime, over in Turkey, the Turkish president has challenged the U.S. to impose sanctions against his country, stating that whatever your sanctions are, don't be late. The Turkish leader mentioned Washington's threat of sanctions after Turkey tested the Russian-made S-400 air defense system. The purchase has already seen Turkey kicked off the F-35 stealth fighter program. Erdogan stated that we stepped in for the F-35, and you threatened us. You said send the S-400s back to Russia. We are not a tribal state. We are Turkey. For months.
Hey, he talking big stuff, man. Okay? Because you devils done ruled the planet in wickedness through your philosophies, your policies, your legislations, your democracy, your draconian laws, man. Your sanctions. And these nations, hey, the scriptures say, this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 10, it reads, Joel 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. These nations is not scared of Babylon the Great no more. But you know, the prophecy is, the overall is this. Revelation chapter 17 and 17. It reads, for Yahweh Bahashim Habashah have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh Bahashim Habashah shall be fulfilled. So, for the Lord have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree, right? And give their kingdom to the beast until the words of power shall be fulfilled. Meaning what, man? Once the elect get sealed, all hell gonna break loose on earth, man. Okay? So these nations is playing these devils until the words of the Lord be fulfilled, man. Prophecy.
Once the U.S. warned Turkey that it risked sanctions under the countering of America's adversaries through Sanctions Act if the S-400 system were activated. President Trump, however, has held back on implementing the sanctions amid hopes that Erdogan will not go ahead with activating the missiles. So it certainly seems like Turkey is sticking to their guns, and I'm sure sanctions will be coming very soon. However, I would like to move on and talk about India and the U.S. It is being reported that India will sign a military agreement with the U.S. for sharing of sensitive satellite data. According to the Defense Ministry, the two sides began a top-level security dialogue aimed at countering China's growing power in the region. The accord would provide India with access to a range of graphical, nautical, and aeronautical data that is considered vital for targeting of missiles and armed drones. And it would also allow the U.S. to provide advanced navigational aids and avionics on U.S.-supplied aircraft to India. In the meantime, Esper also welcomed Australia's participation in next month's naval exercises involving India, the U.S., and Japan. China has previously opposed such multilateral war games, seeing them as aimed against it, and India had long resisted expanding them for that reason. But the border tension with China this summer has hardened the public mood against Beijing and is driving closer ties with the U.S. Now,
you see, Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. The Lord say he's going to destroy the counsel. This Isaiah 29 and 14. It reads, therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work amongst this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of the prudent men shall be hid. Jeremiah 49 and 7 reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? 1 Corinthians 1 and 19 reads, for it is written, which I just read, in Jeremiah 49 and Isaiah 29, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent, man. Okay? Like it said in Isaiah 19. Let's read it again. Isaiah 19:3. It's saying the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So this is the Lord doing this, man. While they trying to upset prophecy, the Lord said he's going to destroy their counsel. And they tell you in Obadiah 1:7 that there is no understanding in them. Why? Because they pride is lifted up, man.
Now, in the meantime, over in China on Friday, the Chinese leader gave a speech marking the 70th anniversary of the Korean War, but he also spoke about the U.S. and actually made a pledge that the United States military forces would be battered in the event if Washington and Beijing were to come to blows, stating that once provoked, things will get ugly. War to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea, no matter the country, no matter the military, no matter how powerful, if they are standing in opposition to the world's trends, bullying the world's weak, trying to turn back history, engage in aggression and expansion, this will inevitably lead to bloodshed. The Chinese people understood that you must use the language that invaders can understand, to fight war with war, and to stop an invasion with force, earning peace and respect through victory.
Hey, and how they gonna do this? Through World War III, man. Okay? The weak is not strong. The weak is now strong, man. This is Mark. Oh, Salakia. Daniel chapter 2:43. It reads, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So the Lord put the spirit, the Lord gave the sons of the wicked and the sons of men two separate spirits, man. Okay? So you will cleave, you will mingle yourself with the seeds of men, but you will not cleave one to another. That's why it's a separation in all these nations, man. And UN have over 100, they have 193 nations joined to the UN. EU have 27 countries, 27 nations joined to them. NATO has 30 nations joined to them. And they are not all on the same page, man. Okay? There's a separation between the sons of men and the sons of the wicked, man. And they will not cleave one to another. So they're going to do what? Go to war, man.
The Chinese people will not create trouble, but nor are we afraid of them. And no matter the difficulties or challenges that we face, our legs will not shake, and our backs will not bend. They should not be trifled with, given the financial and military resources at their disposal.
Now you see, this Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, and you just heard the other guy from the other Idumean from Turkey, they saying what, man? They ain't going, man. They ain't going, they ain't falling for whatever North America, Babylon the Great say, man. They ain't going for it. This is Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns, which is the EU nations, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire, man. Okay? Why? For Yahweh Bashim have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give that kingdom to the beast until the words of power shall be fulfilled, man. And this was going on. While they trying to upset prophecy, prophecy is already written, man.
The grand spirit of resisting U.S. aggression and aiding Korea spans across time and space, becoming more resolute with the passing of time, and must be passed on forever and carried forth from generation to generation. Now, this speech is one example of how a combination of domestic and foreign policy assessments is driving an escalation of rhetoric as the tensions between the U.S. and China intensifies. In fact, Trump's national security team emphasized the benefits of
And why is they like this? The beef? Because it tell you in 2nd Ezra, man. It say, woe to Asia, right, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like Babylon, man. And all the other nations have, man. That's why it's a separation, because this been going on since the beginning of the rulership of these Job 9 and 24s, man. They have always been fighting amongst each other and against the heathen nations, man.
Reciprocating and candor just hours after the Chinese leader's speech, stating that reciprocating is the straightforward idea that when a country injures your interests, you return in favor. It is eminently reasonable and readily understood, including by would-be aggressors. It's an inherent defensive approach.
Now listen to this. This is Ecclesiasticus, also Sirach, chapter 21 and 27. It reads, when the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. So they cursing each other out, man. Okay? And they all these 17 heathen nations are all from the house of Satan, man. All of them. They all from the house of Satan. This is Luke 11 and 17. It reads, but he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. Now EU and NATO and North America, Babylon the Great, which is the harlot, they supposed to be a house that's together, man, on one accord, but they're not. Why? Because these are the seeds of men and the seeds of the wicked joined together, man, as a house, but they all divided, and a house divided against a house falleth. And that's what's going on, man. This is Mark chapter 3 and 24. It reads, and if a kingdom, so let's read 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. Right? They're going to fall together, man. But the Lord is going to use these nations to take them out first, man.
Rooted in notions of fair play and deterrence, public candor actually promotes peace by reducing the space for strategic blunders. And in addition to all of that, China's government on Monday said it will impose sanctions on U.S. military contractors, including Boeing and Lockheed Martin, for supplying weapons to its rival, Taiwan. According to China's government spokesman, the sales seriously undermine China's sovereignty and security interests.
And see, they have no understanding, man. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy, right? All of them, man. All 193 nations. Let's say 192, because North America is one of those nations. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter, man.
Last week, Beijing demanded that Washington cancel a planned sale of 135 precision land attack missiles valued at just over $1 billion worth to improve its defenses. In the meantime, it is being reported that there is a big rise in the number of Russian submarines in the North Atlantic, which is sparking fears of a new Cold War. Military chiefs are worried that President Putin is deliberately provoking a confrontation with the...
Did you see that? It's a overwhelming rush of submarines entering North Atlantic spark new Cold War fears, right? What is that at, man? Ezekiel 38 and 1. Let's read it. And the word of the Lord came unto me, said, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. What is this talking about? It's talking about that Cold War state, man. That Cold War mentality. As you see it on the screen, man. He will turn them back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarter and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, that thou and all thy company, they are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, man. Prophecy.
The UK and the US. The first Sea Lord Admiral, Tony Radakin, the head of the Royal Navy, warned that Russia is more active in the Atlantic, our backyard, than it has been for over 30 years, and a Navy source confirmed that the sheer number of Russian submarines entering the North Atlantic is overwhelming. The tactics adopted by their captains are deliberately provocative and highly dangerous. While our Astute-class submarines are a match for their best submarines, the Russians are now deploying 2 or 3 submarines into our areas of operations, where previously they would have sent only 1. And the war gaming and maneuvering has never been more intense, especially when we are unable to precisely locate our enemies. We face a stark choice. If Britain is to be protected in any future conflict, there will need to be substantial investment in our anti-submarine technologies and skills. We do have catching up to do. Finally, it reports that earlier this year, the Russian military warned that any incoming missile will be treated as a nuclear attack and will be met with immediate nuclear retaliation, also stating that any attack missile will be perceived as carrying a nuclear warhead. The information about the missile launch will be automatically relayed to the Russian military political leadership, which will determine the scope of retaliatory action by nuclear.
Why? Because Russia shall be a guard to the other nations, man.
Forces, depending on the evolving situation. So certainly some very strong words coming from Russia and China, and it definitely seems like Cold War 2.0. But as always, I will continue to follow these reports and bring you updates.
Hey, and that's what it is, man. You see, that's what it is, man. Okay, mushroom clouds all over the planet, man. Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations. Starting with Russia, man, from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. As it said in Joel, they shall not break their ranks, man. Hey, Lord willing is edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Havashai, Bahashim Rikakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwathium who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. The Lord willing is edifying. Till next time I say shalom, wa abba.